But you know what? This is where you want to be for the podcast that connects life, pickleball, and truly love. What's up, Pickleball Nation? This is Tanner Vann and Elizabeth Roy coming back to you with episode 3 of the Play Hard Pickleball podcast. It's episode 4, isn't it? It's episode 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
If you remember, Tanner was like this last time.
Oh yeah, no, I threw up deuces +1.
I was supposed to also, but I didn't catch the memo.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, right?
That's bad.
You intended for me to also do it.
I
the same
did,
time,
but that's
right?
okay. That's
okay.
alright. That's good.
I can't. Obviously...
We should probably do it right now. Episode 4. That way the people know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Today is gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a little interesting, kind of outside the norm. We definitely still are gonna have that life and love connection. But we're gonna do it a little differently today with the fact that the setup looks a little different, and we both had long weeks, so we're shooting it on Saturday night again.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I'm a little burnt. I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might look like I'm sunburned too. Can't really tell. Just a really long week. I did a lot of teaching. Picked up a lot of lessons, and then this weekend got an invite to head out to Apex for the WPT, the World Pickleball Tour tournament out in Arvada, and so I coached on Friday morning. Friday was women's doubles, mm-hmm. right? Then today, Saturday, was mixed doubles, and then tomorrow, Sunday, is men's doubles, and we'll be out there again. Doing a little bit of filming and some fun commentary and stuff. But were you able to make it out at all?
Yeah, I did. I did not play because I am a 9-to-5er, and just like many of my female friends, we are not enjoying pickleball tournaments this year because of the Women's Friday start.
Yeah, I just it seems like every tournament's trying to model the whole PPA thing where it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but championship is Sunday, so it just doesn't work for the normal recreational people. So I think some tours need to take a look at that, and WPT is definitely one of them.
A lot of my friends were playing in the 4-5 mixed bracket today.
Yeah.
So I really hung around them, and
I knew some people in that bracket too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
But did tape a lot of matches and have a good spread of the field, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Excited to do it again tomorrow when Patrick is playing. Pat
and Danny, right?
Pat and Danny
are playing the 5-0 bracket.
5-0, yeah.
Best of luck to them. But as we centralize back on episode 4, we're talking mixed doubles today. We're going to talk on a couple different things, but first and foremost, you were able to capture some footage today, so we're actually going to do something a little different, but hopefully it's going to add a little spice to life. So we're actually gonna review kind of live. I haven't seen any of these points, but Elizabeth compiled a small section of points that I'm gonna take a look at and kind of diagnose and analyze. And I think we decided on not using players' names, so bear with me. I'm gonna be using close side of the net, far side of the net in some colors for you. So without further ado, let's get cracking with some of the mixed doubles today.
All right,
review on Apex. We have our first video here. Looks like a team in white and black. A team in, I don't know what color that is.
Blue, colorblind.
Okay, so it's blue on the other side of that. Some nice dinks there. Ooh, pop up. Oh boy. All right, so that's number 1. Back to the initial start of this point. We've got both males playing about halfway in their side. Females are playing halfway in the side. Does it look like some of these shots are high to you?
Maybe a little, but some of them are shallow.
Okay.
I'd say.
Yeah, so like that kitchen angle is what we can't really see.
I think maybe.
It looks like pretty passive.
Yeah, I'd say they could be a little more aggressive.
Okay. So this is the first thing that I'm really gonna point out is that the female in white take a two-handed backhand dink in the middle. This is not common. That should be the male's forehand in almost every scenario I can think of because of aggression, size. That's a big dude on this side of the net, and if he goes in and reaches a forehand, that's scary. So I mean that to me, that intimidation piece is something he should be going to hit because all she does is dink it. He could have done that and potentially been a bigger threat. And now, I mean, paddle positions are up. They're good. Now here, the males get into a cross-court dink battle with their backhands. Can you say that you've ever seen this in mixed doubles?
It's not as common.
I agree with you. That's a great dink though. The tall guy in the white polo hits a really nice wide dink out to that backhand, and it's a pretty shallow return. Oh yeah, no, that's when she pulls the trigger. So you know the backhand dink coming from the tall guy in the white polo pulls a backhand really wide to the guy in blue, and the guy in blue gets to the ball, but he hits a really weak dink. And then the female in white, again, super weird that she takes a two-handed backhand in the middle, especially from low like that. It just seems to me like in every scenario, that really tall guy reaching with a forehand would be a better shot. Am I wrong in thinking that?
Kind of works in their favor though, because she's got the right momentum to go towards the opposing female, whereas I feel like the guy, if he came over to take that dink, don't you think he would be more positioned to speed it up at the other guy or down the middle?
Yeah, but I feel like the offensive
Like
opportunities for him
pressure.
is better than hers. And I mean, don't get me wrong, right here she hits a backhand speed up. The block is extremely high on the other side of the net, and that is a nasty put away right at the right shoe. But who am I to argue with the result of this point? Team in white gets a filthy put away forehand right down at the female in blue. So, you know, I might not agree with everything they did, but it worked out for them, and they played a great point. That's really well structured by everybody. Unfortunately, one team's got to win it, one team's got to lose it. And if we go ahead and move on to point 2 here, we'll see what we got. Okay, another team in white. That's not the same team, is it?
No, but brother.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, brother. Yeah, no, they're both humongous. That makes sense. We've got a lefty female close. On the far side, it looks like a female in black, male in white.
Gray.
Okay, gray. And then nice step back dink there. Some cross court. Ooh, missed opportunity for an ATP. It definitely looked like. Nice reach in by the male on the far side of the net. Nice redirection back to the female. Nice attack. Great block. Wow, this is a good point. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that lob. Just straight up to a giant forehand sitting in the middle. In a drive up the sideline that gets the job done. Wow, you're not gonna see that a whole lot. Holy good shot, Batman. All right, let's go ahead and break this one down. Holy smokes, I can't believe that finish. We got a nice serve, nice return. Females are definitely targeting each other. Nice drop. Get that two-handed backhand down at the far side opponent's feet. Interesting choice to step back here. Don't really know if it's wrong. Actually, no, I have an opinion on it, but personally, I would not have stepped back. I would have picked to reach in a forehand and attack that ball. But you know, this guy takes a step back and makes a really good choice. He goes out wide with the dink, pulls the opposing male off the court. Can't argue with the result of his shot there. Definitely a missed opportunity for an Ernie though. Typically at 4-5, you're not going to see that Ernie. You're not looking for an Ernie. But at 5-0, you see it a little more. At pro, you see it a lot. The opposing male hits a really, really shallow dink right up the sideline, and this female on the close side of the court is a lefty. She could have absolutely missiled an Ernie anywhere on the court and hit a winner. And this point would have been over in 6 shots. As we move on, some nice dinks from the female. Now right here, the opposing male, you can see him fully stretched out here, reaching into the middle for a forehand dink. That's a great ball. He goes out wide, pulls the guy in the white polo out wide to hit a backhand dink, forces a backhand out wide, redirects to the female. That's just a pattern change. That's really smart coming from that opposing male. He's looking to apply pressure in different spots. And he did a great job turning the attention back to the female in white and away from the bigger guy. But we get some cross-court dinks here. And he reaches in and snakes a forehand. The male on the far side of the net snakes a forehand right at the opposing male. And he hits a great block, a great response, and then an excellent block to slow it back down. This is what I don't necessarily agree with, is if you're going to speed the ball up, don't be the player to slow it down. Because if he reaches in and he keeps being aggressive, he's going to push this team off the net. But instead, he goes for an attack and then resets, mainly because the response by the guy in the white polo was actually really good. He got it pretty low. But you attack and then you slow down. You just kind of counterbalanced yourself, and you didn't mean to. Yeah. If you're going to attack, keep attacking. So then we get back into the cross-court dinks, and there's a dink right here. This lob, I will never agree with. I will never agree with the spot that he hits it, the height that he hits it. I would hit that lob over the female, straight up to this close baseline corner, because that is a 6'4" male reaching into the middle to go absolutely hammer a forehand. That's the most dangerous shot on court, and you just lobbed into it. But you know what? Props to the kid on the far side of the net. He doesn't even back up. He just sticks his paddle out there and says, I can handle this. So you know what? Props to him. And because he didn't back up, he was able to force the team in white. He can push them off the net. And right now, the big guy in white and his partner are stuck at the baseline. Now the male is having to hit drop shots from the baseline, which is just the most awkward transition now. So great job for the team in blue pushing them back. This is where if you're going to take a shot in the dark, miracles do happen. The guy in white goes over to the sideline to hit a forehand. But you know what? Keep playing the video. It pays off. I think targeting the tall guy in the white polo at the baseline was the wrong choice. I think you redirect that ball to the female, and she feels more pressure than he did, because he was able to work around and hit an absolute blaster ball up the sideline, and that won the rally. That would never work at 5-0. It would never work at pro, but in a 4-5 bracket here, it got the job done, because it's not like the female on the other side of the net hit a bad ball. She missed. She hit it. It's just the spot was good, the pace was good, the shot selection was so goofy that it got the job done. You're typically not just going to see a player push at the baseline and then all of a sudden just crank a forehand winner. So guy in the white polo, great job just turning the tables on your opponents and creating something out of nothing. If we move on to point 3 here. Is this a team in white again?
Yeah.
Nice. They've got some highlights in here. And then looks like a different team on the other side. All right, let's take a look here. So team in white returns. Backhand drive from the male. Interesting. Great pickup. Wow. Nice ball out wide like that. A couple of dinks here. Seems like a very repetitive pattern. Oh, nice attack. Oh, boy. All right. I got to say it. If there is a dude that is 6 foot something standing in front of you, don't pop the ball up. It is going to be a short day, and it is going to be a bad day for you if you do that. Yikes. But if we go ahead and back it up, nice return, nice and deep. Backhand drive from the male. Interesting choice in mixed. You'll typically see the female drive unless you're Riley Newman. But, kind of gets a nice soft reset on the 5th. This backhand dig is insane. The fact that this kid gets the ball to the middle, soft and low, impressive backhand hook there. Great take by the tall male in the white polo. Some forehand dinks here. If you think about the prerogative of female mixed doubles and you're dinking forehands cross court, if you pop the ball up as a female, you're hitting directly into the path of the most lethal shot on court. Both these teams are stacking, which means the forehand in the middle is being left for the male. Well, if you're dinking forehands cross court, you're crossing the most dangerous shot on the court. So if your dink is not perfect, it's going to be a bad day. These forehand dinks are coming across, and that ball is popped. The female on the opposing side of the net is attempting to dink to the close side female in white, and she just can't get the ball there. You can see the male in the white polo, his paddle is back. He's about to just rail this ball right at the girl. I mean, that is just a body ball if I've ever seen one. So let's see what he does with it. Right at the body. She gets a pretty decent paddle on it, but again, he's huge. He can lean in and hit any ball down. And her block is not bad, but it's not good enough to stop him from just pasting this ball right in between her feet. Really strong third point here, but that's a lot of height on the close side of the net to beat, and you know what, the other team just kind of fell a little short, and these players are all talented. You know, sometimes shots just don't work out for you. It looks like one of the Pickle Bros, I think. Yeah, he just reaches in and just mashes that forehand down. So great finish. So right there, I mean, we've got some analysis, and if you guys ever want anything else analyzed, you're more than welcome to send it our way, and I'll give it a review. He'll throw some thoughts on it, and we'll get it back to you. But just trying a new segment here, but hopefully that was informative and helpful, and maybe you learned a little something. But yeah, those are pretty typical points. I mean, really nicely played. Unfortunately, one team wins, one team loses.
For sure.
As far as, you know, being out there, the mixed doubles itself as a game is hard enough. So it used to be one of my favorite events. It's now an event that I consider playing if I'm going to a tournament to play men's doubles, but it's definitely not the one I sign up for intending to play. It's not my cup of tea.
I mean, I'd say mixed is my best game.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Probably because I don't have to do so much. No, I just
That's a good one. That's good.
It's just fun. I think it totally depends on the partner, though. You know, my regular mixed partner and I have been together for a very long time, playing tournaments, and you know, we drill together. We just know each other's game super well. So if there's a ball, I will like just kind of slide over, and I just know he's going to be there. And he knows that he can just reach over and I will move. Yeah. Like, we just have a really good sync. So I think that the dynamic is really important. I've also tried to play mixed with people that, you know, like my normal partner would take a certain ball and I let it go, like, oh, you were supposed to take that, but not everybody plays like that.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
The rhythm is thrown off and everything else. I mean, that's pretty common. That's pretty common below a super high level pickleball, because players, they want to be respectful of their partner. Then they're like, I don't want to take that ball immediately, and then all of a sudden shots are going through the middle, and then you're looking at, for instance, if it's you and me, you're looking at me going, that's your ball, and I'm looking at you going, but I want you to play. Yeah. And then things just go badly. But that's interesting that it's your favorite event. I do like that. But have you ever tried to play with Pat?
Yes.
We'll take a small deep dive into this.
Yeah. So
not as deep as the submersible that went missing. Awful, by the way. Sorry if that was a bad joke.
Maybe.
I feel okay. All right, we'll leave it alone. But when you play mixed with Pat, how does it differ?
Yeah, so we've talked about it, you know, and most of the people that know me know, or know Pat know that we play together, but we've done a few tournaments and it hasn't been great.
The results or the play?
Both.
Okay.
You know, like, but it's definitely a mental thing. Like, Pat is a strong player. Like, he's just as strong as my regular mixed partner, and I'm the same person. You know, my game's the same.
Yeah.
So it's just really the closeness. And, you know, I envy a lot of couples that can play together well, but Patrick and I are not one of them.
It's not common. I'll go ahead and I'm not going to story tell, and I'm definitely not going to get deep into it.
Not Titanic deep.
Not Titanic deep. But I just, regardless of doubles, I was a bad partner once upon a time. I was a terrible partner.
Like mixed or just general?
In general, I was better with men. I was better in men's doubles, but I played mixed doubles for a long time with a you know, reputable Denver player, and we no longer play together for multiple reasons. But I remember I had a tournament where she absolutely snapped on court, and rightfully so. And it was probably the biggest teaching moment for me, learning moment, where I was like, okay, there needs to be a change. There needs to be a change because, you know, there was a crazy wild scramble point, and I wound up getting really, really vocal on the court, and in not a good way, and it threw off the rest of our day. We had a chance to make a run in this tournament, and we didn't, because I had just thrown off the mojo with being negative, with being vocally negative. And so mixed doubles became a really hard subject for me, because I wanted to be supportive, but I didn't want to be overbearing, but I didn't want to be like, oh, any result will be fine, I just want us to be friends after. No, I wanted to be an effective partner, but I wanted to be respectful while I did it. It was really hard until I just started to play with people that I really, really jived with. And I mean, mixed doubles was a game changer. It became really, really fun. Definitely not the event I go to tournaments for, but it became so much fun because I was able to play with really talented players who could, you know, give me feedback, and I could give them feedback, and we met in the middle, and it was just a really solid mixed dynamic, which was a lot of fun. But so much learning in mixed doubles, just like crazy. And I mean, hats off to anyone that loves mixed doubles. You, for instance, because yeah, it's just not my favorite, but it's really fun to find that partner you roll with.
Yeah,
that's fun.
I think the key is, like, for me personally, I need to feel trusted and like not appreciated, but I need to feel
leave
trust.
Appreciated. I love that. Leave appreciated.
Yeah, it's definitely more like trust. I sense that if a ball, like, you know how sometimes if a mixed team is down, and then the guy tries to get a little bit too, like, overzealous about trying to be the hero.
Do I know that? Yes, I've done it. I still have had instances of doing it, working on it.
Yeah, and then
really good at it now, but yeah.
Well, that's good. But
I learned.
There's so many moments in mixed where, like, the guy can overreach to take a ball, and then it exposes behind them, and then it's like,
a bad poach or something.
Came way over to take that third, but then they just, like, hit it down the sideline behind you. You're not getting back in position fast enough. Like, stuff like that starts to happen, and then that's like a slow snowball, because I think that, like, I imagine what's going on in the guy's head, and it doesn't have to be like a guy and a girl scenario here. It could be
any partnership,
anything.
for sure.
Yeah. So,
but what goes through the guy's head?
I think,
like, in those bad poach situations.
Yeah, to me it looks like, and maybe this is speaking out of turn, but it always feels a little bit
Spit it out.
I think that the dynamic usually results in, like, the guy feeling like he's done everything he can and that he's not to blame at all in the situation, and the girl always takes the flack for it. And I could be wrong, but
if you're watching this and you find yourself relating to what Elizabeth just said and you're a male, punch yourself in the face. If you're a female, go ahead and start clapping because you relate. to everything that you just said, and I agree. That's what happens a lot is we get frustrated with whoever we're playing with, and it's just like, I did everything I possibly could, and I've had that same exact thought, and then I was like, yeah, but you did everything wrong that you possibly could have,
right.
and it's just the worst, and it's a horrible snowball.
Yeah.
Because then you're mad at me, I'm mad at you, everybody's mad at each other. The game went horribly, we lost, we suck, we were 0-2 in the tournament. It just gets bad. Yeah, but I've had those experiences for sure.
Yeah,
they're not great.
It just, for me, being the recipient of those emotions or whatever, that targeted emotion,
yeah,
it feels like I play tighter, I play less confident.
We've kind of breached on the subject of what goes on in the male's head. Well, I kind of want that inside scoop look of open your brain up and take a look inside. When the dude does something stupid, for me specifically, I know it, and I'm like, that was a really bad ball, and I'm really sorry. And if you've played mixed with me ever, you've heard me say sorry for sure, because I have taken the wrong ball, and that's a thing. It happens in 5-0, 4-5, pro, everywhere. And what do you think if we were playing together and I made a horrible poach? What would go on in your mind? Is it more of the you idiot kind of thing, or is it more of the, you know what, I like the idea, but go ahead and take the next one?
Yeah, I would say, well, first commend you for like acknowledging that it was a poor decision. That's great.
I have my moments.
If somebody tells me like, wow, I know I shouldn't have done that, or I should have left that for you, that always kind of softens it and just negates all the internal dialogue I'm having.
Yeah.
But if you don't, and then you just act annoyed,
right,
you know, that maybe you missed it, but somehow I'm thinking, somehow that was my fault. But yeah, it just kind of eats away a little bit at the like partner dynamic. And you know, my mixed partner has a very different presence and a very different purpose in a mixed event than myself, you know, and it definitely hurts my confidence.
If you were thinking that I lost confidence in you, that would rattle your or trust, that would rattle your confidence.
Yes. And maybe, I just love to think that there are lots of people out there that don't struggle with that, but I'm guessing that there's some that do.
You're not alone, for sure.
Yeah. And I wish that, you know, at the end of the day, I wish that I could have that confidence in myself, like, no matter what, But
you do every day. The things that I've seen you do, the people that you've talked to, the things you've accomplished, all of that comes from confidence. On the court and off the court.
Yeah, I think, like, relationships are super important on or off the court, and, like, the bond that you have and the trust and the respect that you have for each other is, it's so important. Just like we're doing a mixed event right now, really. Like, it's you bring to the table a lot of different qualities than myself, and
I would argue that you even me out.
Do I?
I think you do.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, like, if we're doing something like this, you have perfect insight. You know, it might be like my segment of you let me kind of analyze the points, but the things you say are spot on.
Right.
And if I missed it, I absolutely know that you are there to back up my thought process. I think one of my best attributes is listening, because I can listen, and I might not be able to fix the problem, but that's what I'm geared to do, is like hear a problem, fix a problem. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just want you to listen. So when I look at that specifically, I have a perfect relation between the pickleball mix. Like, I'm the guy, I'm the strength on the court, I know more, I can do more, I'm stronger. And then as soon as you take that outside the pickleball courts, if you roll through life with that same mentality, specifically as a dude, you're not going to do real well. And some people might argue with me on that point, but there's a lot of things that, you know, people might look at pickleball mixed doubles as like a male dominance thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I disagree. I don't look at mixed doubles as the better male's gonna win. I look at it like the better female's gonna win.
For sure.
So
they're the deciding factor in a lot of cases.
I really think they are. Mm-hmm. You can watch these matches. I would argue, you know, if I was to pick a winner out of some of these reviewed points, I'd be able to pick out the team that's gonna win based on the females' play, not the males. Mm-hmm. And that's even at the 4-5 level. So, right. You know, it just kind of accents as you get a little better. But, you know, drawing that line between pickleball mixed and like the female being stable and the male being all powerful. I mean, not that it's concrete on the stone tablets in that specific wording. Right. But I mean, what do you think about the fact that, you know, the males have that overarching like powerful view in pickleball and the females don't? What do you think about that?
I mean, I think that's kind of what makes the partnership fun for me, liking mixed doubles. In life and in pickleball, like, I like playing a supportive role to, you know, the guy I'm with or the mixed partner I'm with or whatever. Like,
sure.
I kind of enjoy being the rock, I guess.
Do you think all women's you know, women players in mixed feel like that?
I'm sure not, but I know like a lot of women, you know, they're trying to maybe execute a point to earn their male partner a powerful put away. Like, you put pressure on the dinks, and like, I do also want to be dangerous on the right, you know. Sure. Like, I want to be able to put away my own balls and have my partner set me up for putaways. But, yeah. You know, ultimately, I think as a general rule of thumb, most women would see themselves as like point construction or
support, almost.
Kind of support, but also pulling some strings.
Yeah.
To like force the issue for you to get involved.
Okay. Yeah. I really like how you put that, and I mean, it makes total sense. And I mean, quite frankly, when I play mixed, I don't want that passive support. I want a very active aggression role out of a partner. So I look for pretty particular, you know, females to play mixed doubles with, because, you know, you had mentioned dangerous, right? Yeah. That's what I prefer. Is you know, somebody that's standing right next to me that's not afraid to attack the male or attack the female or just attack a ball or throw up a lob once in a while. Right. Like, that is a multi-dimensional aspect of danger coming from that player. Yeah. So, you know, it's not just me like, oh, this is the shot we need to worry about, is this high forehand through the middle. It's every shot on court is dangerous. So yeah, so there is nowhere you can hit the ball that's safe for you. Yeah. Like, that's fun for me.
I like that.
Versus, you know, you hear it a lot in mixed doubles is, let's play keep away. Like, keep away from the male. Oh. And I'm like, yeah, okay, for sure. If that male wants to be less movement oriented this game, he's not going to touch as many balls. Mm-hmm. But if he wants to go get that ball, he's gonna be hitting it with the dominant, you know, shot that he wants to go hit. But
yeah, that's how I'd like to develop as a player, is to become more, like you said, just, it's not safe over here. So
yeah.
And I try to.
I've seen you hit some great attacks. I've seen some danger out of you.
I like to speed up. I like to, you know, try to speed up cross court, which I don't know. What's your take on this? So the speed up cross court, I don't do it all the time, but if it's the right ball and I think that it's going to earn a pop up in the middle, I think it's a good shot when your partner is expecting it. Like, if Dan is next to me and I speed up in a way that, you know,
he can read. Yeah. It's very different, and it depends on so many factors. A cross-court speed-up is never wrong. A cross-court speed-up at the wrong time is one of the worst shots in pickleball you can possibly hit. Because that is a one-shot counter winner for your opponents.
Right.
If it works, it's amazing. But if the other player gets it, it's an instant winner. So it's not a bad shot, but it needs to be done correctly.
Right.
So, you know, that's I think, again, 4-5, 5-0 pro. I will definitely take the right ball more than a 4-5 will. But, you know, unless you do it, how are you going to know? Like, you might not know, because you never know. That instant winner spot might not be a counter for most people. So, you know, that's an interesting question, but a cross-court speed-up is never wrong. It can go very badly.
Right.
There are so many correlations between pickleball events and things that might happen outside the courts, you know, so pickleball and life specifically, that when you are talking about mixed doubles, specific in pickleball, female and male playing on a court together against a female and a male, there seems to be a select role for each player, and I don't think that directly correlates in any portion of your daily life or my daily life or most people's daily lives. It exists a little bit more on the pickleball court because, you know, your goal is to set up my forehand. You know, my goal is to get you in a position never to be attacked. Like, I have a role, I need to accomplish it in order for both of us to achieve our goals. But I don't think those rigid roles stick anywhere outside the pickleball court.
You know what kind of does that you can relate? Something that you can take from that partner dynamic from, like, the pickleball court or life is, I feel, in the mixed dynamic, each person offers something different, and you can learn a lot from one another. So maybe there's some aggression that I can learn, or off the court some confidence or security, just strength that I can get from my mixed encounters, and hopefully vice versa. I like to think that, you know, I would add some creativity to someone's life, if, you know, or maybe emotional regulation. Like, there's a lot of qualities that women are.
You have a rock solid temperament. I will say that you have a great temperament. But the word that I kind of heard repeating through my head as you were saying that last bit was complementary.
Yeah.
Is as soon as you get on a pickleball court, if you play with two exact players, you're not really complementing each other. You might in some ways, but it's not overall complementary. That's why the dynamic of the Johns works so well, is because you've got Ben, who's patient and power, and that dude will never miss. Mm-hmm. Then you've got Colin, who's arguably more patient but very selectively aggressive. Well, those two dynamics feed off each other perfectly. Mm-hmm. Not to mention they're related and brothers and everything else. But complementary dynamics and things in your life and the people in your life, it balances out.
Kind of like
almost all the time.
A yin and yang.
Yeah.
Dynamic.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Also, I saw a tennis dampener that had a yin yang on it. And it was really cool. It was pretty sweet. But
we need more, like, little kitschy fun things for pickleball paddles.
I know. Yeah, we've got the toppers now that have the little sayings on them and everything else, and we've got the. If I ever see anyone playing with that little suction cup butt cap on the end of the pickleball paddle, I'm gonna burn your paddle with that thing on.
Yeah, take the whole paddle.
Yeah, just gone. You're not playing anymore. I'm just gonna take it away from you. But yeah, I mean, complementary pieces of one player to another, one person to another. You and Pat complement each other. My mom and dad, they complement each other. Other relationships that I see, they're complementary. That's one of my favorite things about mixed doubles is, even though it's not the event that I pray for all the time, it's the event I can have the most fun with because of the clear and separate dynamics. I'm trying to compliment you as a player, you're trying to compliment me as a player, and if we meet in the middle, we're gonna have a great day.
I like it.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. But I mean, from this, hopefully the breakdown was helpful, and then, you know what, maybe we spark some interest with you. But you know what, leave in the comments below. I'm interested to know if other people feel the same way about mixed that we do. It's your favorite event. It's my probably least favorite event besides singles, but nobody likes singles. So, you know, not being
unless
a huge...
they're gluttons for punishment.
True. not being a fan of mixed and then you being a huge fan of mixed, I just kind of want to know what everybody else thinks. Is mixed something you jive with? Is mixed something you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole? Kicking out episode 4 of the Play Hard Pickleball Podcast.